Good day. This is Engineer Michael M. Ramos Jr., student of Meng CPE, and for this video, I will demonstrate the AutoCAD application number 5, which is the data entry methods, which will be the absolute coordinates x and y axis. In this video, I will apply what I have learned from the tutorial of Dr. Edwin R. Arboleda about data entry methods and absolute coordinates x and y axis. So for data entry methods, we have here different types, which are the picking, the direct distance, which is the application of the ortho when it comes to F8 is turned on or turned off. And also we have here coordinates entry, which is the absolute coordinates, which are the x and y axis. So if we will draw a certain figure, so we could apply the picking method and also the direct distance method, which are discussed from my previous video, the video 1, video 2, video 3, and video 4. And for today's video or for this video, we will apply the absolute coordinates, which are the x and y axis, in order to draw a certain figure. So in absolute coordinates, we have here a reference point, which is the point of origin 0, 0. So to test these three types or these three entry methods, so let's assess the absolute coordinates by applying this sample figure. So this sample figure is based from Dr. Arboleda. So to draw this figure, we must apply the absolute coordinates x and y by applying these points. Okay? So to draw this figure, we must create a line following the coordinates 1, 1, 4, 1, 5, 2, 5, 4, 1, 4, and 1, 1. So to close the figure, it's good to type 1, 1, or we could type C or close. So to test and try this figure, let's open our AutoCAD. Okay. So I have here my drawing table named as application 5. So to draw this figure applying the absolute coordinates, so let's call out the line. So to call out line, we should type in our command the letter L, shortcut term for line, or we could type the whole spelling of the line. So once we press line, the command will tell specify first point. So for this specify first point, let's assess the point 1, 1 as our base or origin. So let's type 1, 1, and automatically a specific line will be drawn at this point. So this is origin 1, 1 of our figure. So next point, so we could type the next point, which is 4, 1. So typing 4, 1, and when press enter, automatically a line will be drawn from 1, 1 to 4, 1. Okay? So based on the figure, so it's the same. 1, 1, 4, 1. Then next one, to draw the line of the point 2 to point 3, so let's call out 5, 2. So let's type 5, 2, then press enter. So we have here a slant line from point 5, 2, which is this. Okay. Then next one, we have here point 3 to point 4, 5, 4. So let's type 5, 4, and hit enter. So this one is the same. Okay. Next one, point 4 to point 5, we have here 1, 4. So let's type 1, 4, then press enter or hit enter. So automatically a line was drawn from this point, the point 5, 4 to 1, 4. And then let's close this figure by typing C or close. So once we type close, automatically the figure will close. Okay. So from this point, 1, 4, then it will end back to 1, 1. So based from this figure, okay, and based from the sample, we draw a certain figure by applying the absolute coordinates. So applying the absolute coordinates, we could draw the figure by determining the x and y points. Okay? So if we will go back to this coordinates entry, so it is checked. Now let's proceed to picking. So picking is a data entry method in which we draw a line through the use of our mouse. So through picking, like for example, we'll draw a line. So this is not accurate. So let's try to draw a line at this point. Okay. So let's try to draw this one. So through picking, so it's not accurate, but we'll try our best to copy the same figure. Okay. Okay, and then C for close. Okay. Sorry for the drawing. It is slanted. So it is free. Okay, free drawing. So by the use of picking. Okay. Now we are done in the picking method. Now let's try the direct distance, which is the ortho method. So to activate ortho method, we could try by calling function 8 or F8. Okay. So automatically ortho mode is active. So in ortho mode, if we will recall, all drawings, all lines that are drawn to this state or this function will be only horizontal and vertical. So to draw, for example, let's type L for line. So let's copy this figure applying ortho. So let's start a point here. Okay. So in ortho mode, let's say that this is the point of line. Okay. Then at this point, so I can't draw a slanting line. So to draw a slanting line, let's deactivate or turn off the ortho. So we'll try to type function 8. So automatically, the ortho mode is off. So we could draw the slanting line. So after drawing the slanting line, so function 8 again to activate. Then we can draw the vertical line. Then another one. Okay. And then we could close it here. And then escape. Okay. So let's undo. So let's try to type again. Line. Applying ortho. Function F8 for the slant. Function 8. And here. And type close. Okay, so we have here figures applying the absolute coordinates, a figure applied by picking, and a figure applied by the ortho mode. Okay, so we are done in applying the sample figure. Now let's try to test and create a figure applying the absolute coordinates in this exercise number 1. As you can see in this figure 1, we have here a figure of H. And this H is created through the use of absolute coordinates. Okay, so let's apply the absolute coordinates X and Y in drawing this letter H. Okay, so Fn 8. Okay, so let's try to draw the specific point line in A by starting at this point. So let's tell or let's say that this point is at 1, x, and the y-axis would be, let's say, 10. Okay? So let's try, this is 1, comma 10. So let's try to type L for line and indicate 1, comma 10. Okay? So by indicating the starting point, so we have here 1, comma n. So this is the starting point of our figure. So based on this point B, as you can see, we have here a distance of 1. So we could tell that this would be 2, comma 10. Okay? So let's declare on this point 2, comma 10. And once we press enter, we have here this line. Okay? So next one, we have here the point C. By telling this figure, we have here a height of 1. So we could tell that it could be 2, comma 11. So let's try. So declare here 2, comma 11. So based on the figure and this in our AutoCAD, it is the same. So we have here point D, which is have a horizontal distance of 1. So we could tell that this would be 3, comma 11. So let's type 3, comma 11. Okay? The next one, we have here letter E. Based on the figure, we have here a height of 1. So let's subtract the y-axis, 11 minus 1. So we have here 3, comma 10. So let's declare on this video 3, comma 10. And voila, we have here a line. The same from the point A, B, C, D, and E. Now let's proceed to point F. Point F is we have here another distance of 1 horizontal. So let's say this is 4, comma 10. So let's declare 4, comma 10 and hit enter. So we have here the base part of our figure H. Now let's go to point G. So point G has a height of 3. So if this is 10, so this would be 11, this would be 12, and this would be 13. So from this 10, 11, 12, 13, so we could tell that this will be 4, comma 13. Okay, so let's try to type the coordinates 4, comma 13 and hit enter. So we have here the right leg of our H. Okay, so next one, the point H, we have here 1, okay, horizontal distance of 1. So if this is 13, so 4, comma 13. So let's subtract the x-axis by 1. So this will be 3, comma 13. Okay, so let's try to type 3, comma 13. Okay, so it's the same. So next we have here I. So this will be, or this point I has a height of 1. So let's subtract the y-axis by 1. So 13 minus 1, we have here 12. So this will be 3, comma 12. So let's declare in our command 3, comma 12 and hit enter. So we have here the base right point of our H. So J, so we have here distance of 1. So let's subtract the x-axis by 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Then we have here the same height, 12. So let's try to type 2, comma 12 and hit enter. So after hitting enter, so let's proceed to point K. So point K has a height of 1, okay, and the same point of J. So if there is a height of 1, let's add 1 to the y-axis. So this would be 2, comma, the y-axis 12 plus 1, we have here 13. So point K has the coordinates of 2, comma 13. Okay, and hit enter. So as you can see, we can now visualize that we are drawing the symbol or the letter H. So for the last point, we have here L. So there is a distance of 1 from x-axis. So let's subtract it 2, subtract to 1. So we will get the x-axis of 1, comma, and then we have here the y-axis, which is 13. So let's try to type in this figure 1, comma 13. And let's hit enter. Okay, so to close the figure, we could type letter C to close. Okay, so based on figure 1, we have here the figure H. And on our drawing, we drew our H. So by point from the point A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and L. So if we want to try and see if all of these lines are accurate, so let's select a specific line. Then we should type list or LI, shortcut command for list. And once we press enter, so we have here some of the properties of our line. So the point X to point Y, so we have here 1. The Y-axis is 10. The Z-axis is 0. So we have here the angle value, which is 0. So for example, we want to know all the specification of each line. So let's select them all by picking them. So left click all of the line. Okay. Then let's type LI for list and click or hit enter. So once we hit the enter, okay, all of the lines, so we have here lines 12 found and all of the lines are specified at this point. Okay. So li for list, select objects, and click enter. So these are the list of the objects. Okay. So that's how we can draw a certain figure by applying the absolute coordinates. Now, Dr. Arboleda have a task on us to draw the figures number 2 and figure number 3. So let's try to draw this figure number 2. Okay? So based on this figure, I have here points A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and M. So let's try and assess this figure. So H is here. So let's move. Okay, let's zoom out and let's move from the upper part of this CAD. So let's assess that we should draw this point A starting from 1, comma 20. So for example, okay? So let's declare that we should call a line, so L for line, and starting point is 1, comma 20. So once we press 1, comma 20, so we have here the starting point of A at this part. Okay, so this is point A. So to draw B, so we should enter or hit a certain, okay, line by applying the coordinates of B. So B is horizontal distance of 1. So if we have here x-axis of 1, 1 plus 1 is we have here 2, comma 20. Okay? So let's call out 2, comma 20. So we have here this point A and point B. So for point C, let's proceed. Point C has a height of 1. So for the y-axis, we should add 1 to 20. So point B has the same x-axis which is 2. So 2, comma. So the y-axis, if we have here 20 plus 1, so we should declare 21 and hit enter. So this is point C. Now for point D, it tells or it states that the point D has a horizontal distance of 1, okay? And the vertical distance is the same as the point A and B. So if we have here 1, 2, so point D has a 3-axis, x-axis rather, and we have here 20 as its y-axis. So to declare point D, so we should type 3, comma 20 and hit enter. So as you can see, we have here the sliding point. Okay? So at this point, so we have here E. So point E is 1, okay? 1 difference in the vertical line of point D. So if we have here 3, comma 20, so point A would be 3, comma 19. So we should subtract 1 to the height of 20 or the y-axis. So 20 minus 1, we will have 19. So let's type 3, comma 19 and hit enter. So as you can see, the figure has the same. Okay? So next, so for point F, so we have here a horizontal distance of 2. So based from this, so if we have 3, so 3 plus 2, so the x-axis should be 5 and the y-axis should be 19. Okay? So let's try 5, comma 19 and hit enter. Okay? So point F is the same. Now, for point G, so for point G, we have here a horizontal distance of 2. Okay? So if this is horizontal distance of 2, so we could say that the x-axis is 7. And the vertical distance has a value of 1 plus 1, which is equals to 2. So based from this, if we have here 19 as the y-coordinate, so we will add 2. So 19 plus 2, we will get 21. So point G has the coordinates of 7, comma 21. Okay? So I think let's undo this part. So I think I mistyped. So it's not 721. 725 plus 2, 7, comma 21. Okay, so correct. So I've inputted a wrong input a while ago. So 7.21. So it must be 7 comma 21. So it tells that this degree or the angle from this part is 45 degrees. Okay? So next one, point H. So point H has a vertical distance of 1.5. So this will be 7 for x-axis. And we have here 21 plus 1.5. So we will get 22.5. So to declare this, so let's input 7 comma 22.5 and hit enter. Okay, so 21 plus 1.5, 22.5. So for point I, so let's subtract the x-axis by 2. So 7 minus 2 is 5. So 5 comma, the same y-axis, 22.5 and hit enter. Okay, so J, so for J, it has our vertical distance of 1. So for the y-axis, we should add 1. So this one is 5 comma 22.5. So for this J, so it is 5 comma 23.5. Okay, sorry for the handwriting using mouse. So we should declare 5 comma sorry 5 comma 23.5 and hit enter. Okay. So after this, point J, point K. So point K has a 1 distance or horizontal distance of 1. Same y-axis. So 5 minus 1. So equals to 4, comma 23.5. Okay. So 4, comma 23.5. Now, at this point, so point L, so point L has a distance, horizontal distance of 2. So we should subtract 2 to the x-axis 4, so 2, comma. And based from the y-axis, so the L point is lowered by 1, okay, by 1 point. So 23.5, so this will be 22.5. So let's declare 2, comma. So the distance is 1. So 22.5 and click enter. So this is the slanting part. So for the point M, so we have here a distance of 1 horizontal distance. So let's subtract 2 by 1. So we will get 1, comma. So the y-axis is the same by the point L, which is 22.5. So 1, comma 22.5. So based from this, we have here the point M. So to close this figure, we could type close or shortcut command C. By clicking C or hitting that, we could close that figure. Okay? So based from this figure 2, we drew it by applying the absolute value, the absolute coordinates of x and y axis. So as you can see, this line, okay, by activating this, for example, we draw a line and activating the polar is F10. So if we could type here, starting from that endpoint, so we could say that this line is 45 degrees. Okay? Okay. Now, let's proceed to figure number 3. So for figure number 3, we have here a specific distance or specific points that we could apply using the absolute value. Okay? So to try this, so let's start by drawing the point A. So in this figure number 3, we will create an arrow. Okay? So for example, let's try to draw this at this point. I think this is 25. So the first thing to do is to type L for line. Then specify point is 1, comma 25. So let's try 1, comma 25. So as you can see, this is 1, comma 25. Okay? So next one is we have here point B. So from this 1 comma 25, okay, point B, so we have here horizontal distance of 2. The vertical distance is the same. So 1 plus 2 is 3. So 3 comma 25. So based from this, we could tell or we could assess that we should type 3 comma 25. So based from this, we have here 3 comma 25. Okay. Next, so we have here point C. So point C has a distance of 3. So 3, so let's try to call out plus 3 y-axis. So if this is 325, so this will be 3 comma 28. Okay? So 3 comma 28. So let's call it 3 comma 28. So we have here. Then point D as a horizontal distance of 1. So this would be 4 comma 28. Okay. So for the point E, so it is slant. So there's no problem. So we could tell that the height or the y-axis is 2. So automatically if we declare 428, so it will be 4 or 430. But in this point, the horizontal distance will be subtracted to 2. So if we will subtract it by 2, 4 minus 2 will be 2. And the height is 20, or sorry, not 28, but if it is 428, so we will add 2. So we will get 30. So to get that, let's try to type 2 comma 30 and hit enter. So we have here the slanting point, and as you can see, we can visualize that this will be an arrow. So next one, we have here F. Okay. So based from this, so to point F, so we have here slanting point. So we have here a vertical distance of 2. So we will subtract it by 2. So if we have here 30 minus 2, we have here 28. Then for the x-axis, so from 2, we will subtract it by 1. Okay? So on this point, this is the half point or midpoint of 2. So this is 1. Plus 1 will be 2. So if we subtract the x-axis, so 2 minus 2 would be 0, comma, then the y-axis would be 30 minus 2, 28. So let's try to call out 28. 0, comma, 28. So we have here this arrow. Okay? So as you can see, we have here point G. Point G is the same y-axis, 28. The x-axis will add 1 for the distance. So from 0, 28, we should call out 1, comma, 28. Okay? And for the last part, to close this figure, let's type letter C. Okay? Close out. So let's recall or see the figure 2. So based on this figure 2, we have here an assessment that the point F and point G must be 45 degrees. So to assess this part, so let's try to click the line and type list. Then once we press list, automatically we could say that the angle in the x and y plane is 45 degrees. So this is correct. Now let's go back to point figure number 3. So it states that point F and point E is also 45 degrees. So let's see. So this is point F and point E. So let's try to click it, then type LI. So based from the list, we have here an angle in x and y axis which is 2 over 225. Okay? So 225 is the same as what is 45 degrees. So it states that 225 is the angle because it starts from point E to point F. But if it is starting from point F to point E, the angle will be displayed will be 45. List, enter object, and click enter. Okay? So this is equivalent to 45 degrees. So based on this, the actual line size is 2.8264. And based from this one, we have here 2.8284. So 8284, so this is the same. Okay? So I hope all of the activities we applied on this part, which are the peaking, the direct distance, and also the absolute coordinates in creating figure, help you a lot. Okay? So these are applied using absolute coordinates, absolute coordinates, absolute coordinates, and also absolute coordinates. So if you like my video, okay, If you love it, so hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. So where we apply what we learned from the academe. Okay? So these are all the videos. So zoom all. So these are all the figures we have drawn earlier. So thank you so much. Have a great day and stay safe. Thank you for watching.